Well, we've discussed tokenization a lot on the show, and there's been a lot of progress around the world, but there's been recently some big breakthroughs here in our neck of the woods in Saudi Arabia. And to talk about that topic, we're joined by Popat, the CEO of SettleMint. Adam, welcome on Crypto Weekly. Recently, you were involved in the global first of the tokenization of the Saudi Arabia's real estate registry. Can you share with our audience what happened, what is the project, and if it is the first in the world from what I understand?
Yeah, thanks, Henry. Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. Yeah, so last week we announced with the Real Estate Registry of Saudi Arabia that a project to tokenize all of Saudi Arabia's property and land registry, which is a first in the globe. We announced that last week. We've been starting to work on that over the last few months, and it will be delivered sometime in 2026.
I mean, this is quite, to give an idea to our audience, this is basically entire country's real estate registry will be basically put on chain. Imagine
every property and land title will be put on chain. That's phase one. Then we will fractionalize all of that. So the estimated value of the Saudi real estate market today is $1.6 trillion, estimated to grow to $2.3 million by 2030. And all of that will be tokenized and fractionalized.
You know, and obviously tokenization gives a lot of benefits. Fractionalization is one of them. Enabling people to have access is another one. What do you believe will be the most material impact this will enable within the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia?
Yeah, so this will have a huge market impact. It's kind of hard to overstate the impact it will have on the market. And it's a win-win for everybody in the market. So for citizens, they'll get faster, more secure transactions. For banks, it'll help them with risk management, being able to verify collateral. For developers, they'll get more access more quickly to financing. So it's really a win-win-win for everybody.
And what is the biggest challenge? Because Adam, I figure if this was easy, everybody would have done it already. And we've seen examples around the world of, let's say, land registries in certain city or region or district being put on chain. What is the biggest difficulty when trying to literally putting an entire country's registry on chain?
Yeah, so I think the factors that make that possible in Saudi Arabia, one is that obviously there's a nationwide commitment to digitization, across every sector, but in particular in the real estate sector. There's very strong regulatory alignment between the regulators there, regulatory leadership on the topic, and then visionary leadership, right, by the real estate registry in particular, but others in the ecosystem, and then I would say the other thing is the technology is ready, right? We've been building on blockchain technology for 10 years. And we're now ready to do something at this kind of scale and ambition.
Yeah, I can definitely see it plays a big part of Vision 2030 as well. I mean, it's fully aligned with what's of the macro goal as well. When you look at it, Adam, you take a step back, and obviously Saudi Arabia is the first country to do so. If there's are there any regions you're very optimistic that you will see such projects over the next couple of years? Or, for example, smaller countries. Like I would expect, intuitively that if you're a prime minister, president of a small country, it's easier to do than a large country like Saudi Arabia. But where do you see this project being replicated over the next couple of years?
Yeah, so I think with this particular real estate use case, I think this region is going to lead the way for the reasons I described. Right, you have very similar conditions in other countries in this region, and then hopefully, ultimately, our vision is that the whole world will move this way, where real estate titles will be on chain ultimately and much more easily tradable.
I've been talking about tokenization. Now we call them RWA. Back in the day, we used to call them tokenization. Before, we used to call them security tokens. Yeah. And I've been optimistic on the topic for many years, but I've been wrong because often what we've seen over the years, the assets can be tokenized, but then there's no liquidity.
Correct.
How do you think now things are different compared to a couple of years ago? And how do you believe we can solve the liquidity issue, both on the offers and the demand side, especially on projects like these?
Yeah, so with this project in particular, we're also building a marketplace to go along with that. We're also going to be allowing PropTechs to connect to our data to build their own marketplaces, and that's what then leads to the liquidity. I agree. What you're talking about is perhaps more the financial use cases where the regulation has been a bit slower to come. The secondary marketplaces have therefore been a bit slower to develop. But I think this use case, real estate in this region, has the potential to break through.
You know, outside of real estate, what other asset classes? I mean, we're seeing a lot now, treasuries being obviously tokenized. It's a big success story. What other assets are you very excited about that we'll see tokenized in the next 12 to 18 months?
Yeah, so we at SettleMint, we've been doing this for 10 years, right? We've been in this game for 10 years, basically tokenizing for large institutions and corporations globally. The use cases that we're seeing, other than real estate in this region, most progress with are bonds in the financial world, in particular in Asia. Stablecoins, obviously, it's been the year of stablecoins. Tokenized deposits, money market funds. So all of this is developing, but we're extremely excited about this particular use case because, as you say, we can see it sort of come to fruition all the way in a near enough time frame.
Now, there's going to be a lot of these use cases you mentioned. I would even add commodities. I mean, there's so much to be done in the space on it. Maybe one last question, Adam, is on the risk side. There's a lot of policymakers, watching the show, and they're looking at tokenization of, whether sectors of their economy, the land registry like Saudi Arabia just did. What do you think is the biggest risk for not only users, but let's say as an ecosystem when we're tokenizing such assets? I
think using technology which is not proven, regulators not being central to the design of this solution, that can lead to marketplaces which don't take off or things go wrong very quickly, right? So the important thing is to have the regulation clear and aligned, the technology extremely robust and scalable, and then for the whole ecosystem to work together.
And last point in 30 seconds, scalability. This is something used to be raised a lot. Do you believe that's even a concern now, scalability, or we saw that issue? Technology is ready and we couldn't just at scale right now, not an issue?
The technology is ready, for sure. We've been piloting and PoCing for the last 10 years, and we're starting to see these real production use cases, right? Yeah. So I think that the technology is there, but the stars have to align in the way that I described to get real scale.
Often it's not the technology, but it's everything around that makes it slows things down. Yeah. That was very interesting, and congratulations on this big milestone, not only for you, but also for the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Very, very exciting. That was Adam Popat, the CEO of SettleMint, again, talking about the exciting world of tokenization.